Scotiabank shows us how you can use your home like a cash machine or an ATM. And we're going to dive into this right now. Let's go.
Wondering how to accomplish your goals while keeping up with your financial obligations? Well, here's an idea.
Doesn't this remind you of some sort of lesson that you're about to watch for a child or something like that? I mean, the way the information is being presented to you so simply, so subtly, does not seem like they're advertising a complex leverage product that could actually make you end up in a really, really bad situation where you lose your home. No, but they are.
Get a Scotia Total Equity Plan and be a step ahead in planning your future goals. Think of your assets. Your home is more than just shelter, it's an investment.
I mean, that is kind of something that a lot of people argue, that your home is an asset. I don't really think so. I think it's a liability. No matter whether you're renting or you buy a home, it's still a liability. You know, there are different expenses that a homeowner has to take care of that a renter doesn't, which kind of compensates for the difference in the fact that the homeowner is going to be paying down a debt, a mortgage, to potentially own the asset at the end, whereas the renter is not. But the renter gets less risk for essentially renting. So there's different ways of looking at things, but I don't think buying a home to live in it, I do not think that's an investment. An investment is something that pays you to own it. And clearly just buying a house and living in it, that is the complete opposite of that, where you're paying to own it. And you're paying more than a mortgage as well, a hell of a lot more.
It's potentially the biggest asset you own, and its value keeps climbing.
They make the case there that the value just keeps climbing and the values just keep going up. And I think that is so dangerous when they are literally talking about a complex leverage product that could put you in such a terrible place. And I really want to explain this by showing you this chart. So essentially, this is real residential property prices in Canada, and you can see since the around 2000, Canada has gone into this super bubble phase, which is just unbelievable when you display it on a chart like this. But even if we go back to, let's say you bought around 1989, or you bought around here, 1989, this sort of area. So let's say you bought there. If you would still be in negative equity probably in 1999, 2000. It would only be around 2002, 2003 where you would actually start to break even on the house. So, you know, this idea that home values only go up is so ridiculous, especially when you're talking about buying at the literal peak of a super bubble. I mean, I just think that when they're doing that, it's very, very subtle, but it's also dangerous in my head. So let's continue.
Paying down your mortgage faster not only saves you thousands in interest, it builds equity. It's like moving things from one side of the scale to another. As your home value increases and your mortgage decreases, your equity grows.
You know, I'm not really a total fan of the word equity, because let's put it another way, it's just debt that you're paying off to potentially own the asset. I mean, all of this is like in theory, because when you're talking about equity, you're not talking about any sort of realized gain, but they are talking about withdrawing from your equity, as they call it, which isn't a realized gain. And it's just theoretical, because that can be erased at any moment and they can call in that line of credit. And obviously they never talk about that. It's just very simple when it comes down to it.
It's there when you need it. Even when you're mortgage free, your step is still there, helping you achieve your goals faster, no matter what they are: education, renovation, or a vacation home.
I mean, doesn't that sound the same as CIBC? Let me play you CIBCs.
That's money you can borrow for anything that's important to you, such as education, paying down your high-interest debt, home improvements, or any unplanned expenses. You'll only pay interest on the amount you borrow from your line of credit.
God, that just sounds like the Air Canada safety video. But anyway, when you look at that, they're saying the same things essentially. Education, unplanned expenses. The funny thing is, Scotiabank doesn't leave out the real fact, which is vacation home, guys. You can use it and buy a vacation home. You can withdraw from your equity and you can buy a vacation home. And it's so simple, it's so easy. I mean, look at the way they are portraying this information to you, writing it like a children's fairy tale to you, when in reality it's a complex leverage product. And if you play in that game and space, you could end up losing your home if you do it at the wrong time. And that's what a lot of people, unfortunately, will be in that position over the coming years, in my opinion. So let's continue on.
All it takes is one application to access all the benefits of STEP today and tomorrow. Tailor your STEP to your needs. Access the credit products that you need whenever you need them.
And of course, it's super easy.
STEP lets you mix and match products like splitting your mortgage into both fixed and variable rates, giving you the best of both worlds. Add lines of credit or credit cards.
I mean, it sounds like a mix and match at a candy store or something like this. I mean, the way this advert is done is very clever. I've got to hand it to them with that. It's very clever in the way it comes across to you, making it seem just so simple and like there's nothing really bad about it. And I suppose this is the thing, that debt has just become very normal. It's become normal to use debt for big purchases, and this has driven the cost of everything up massively. It's just people haven't realized it. The problem is it has just been like that, and it's gone from just a fact where people maybe are buying their cars to now people are buying second homes and third homes and fourth homes. And you know, this is the problem. Eventually the greed just takes over and then the whole thing just implodes. I mean, this happens time and time again. Different countries around the world, credit bubbles are constantly imploding, and it happens all the time. We saw it in 2008. You've seen it in Japan. It happened in Ireland, the UK, in Spain, Portugal. It's happened in Dubai. It's happened all over. It's even happened in Canada, in Alberta, and will happen again in Alberta. So it's just kind of crazy when you think about it. But people think, it can never happen. It's never going to happen. But anyways.
You can blend and customize options to suit different and changing needs. We can even show you how to save on refinancing costs. You decide how and when to use your STEP.
It's very convenient, isn't it? You decide how and when to use your STEP, but it's there for you. All that potential debt that you can get into. And then, you know, guess what happens? You hit a bump in the road, and then before you know it, you're taking from that line of credit because it's so easy. It's just readily available. It's right there. You don't even have to go to the bank. That is why the bank makes it so simple. It is kind of, it's very clever actually, and they are manipulating people essentially. But yeah, it is what it is.
Enjoy the convenience and ease of future planning without needing to reapply. You've got it all done ahead of time. Just imagine the peace of mind.
Yeah, just imagine the peace of mind of being able to get into endless amounts of debt, leverage your house and potentially lose it. I mean, how is that peace of mind? I don't know.
Be a step ahead. Contact one of our Scotiabank advisors to see how a STEP can benefit you today.
Nobody even mentions risk. Risk is not even mentioned in this whole advertisement that they do there. It is fit for a child to watch. And isn't that kind of scary that a bank just literally doesn't care about risk towards their clients? I mean, literally, the way these products are being marketed is not good. It's not good. And it really shows, I think, and I really wanted to document this for future reference. People are going to look back on these advertisements And they're going to think, wow, how did we not see that we're in a gigantic credit bubble? Because it was right there in front of our face with all these advertisements, whether it's Scotiabank or CIBC. I mean, Scotiabank coined the phrase, "You're richer than you think," advertising home equity lines of credit, and then it became their slogan. So it's just massively, it's just so bad. And then, like I said earlier, you know, you look at this chart, and this chart shows you that in fact you can buy at the wrong time and then spend 5-7 years of watching the home price go down slowly in this case and then come down. Or you can buy at the top here and then you watch for, you know, over a decade until the home price, until you just break even essentially. So obviously buying a home isn't going to be as simple as it's been in the past. And very recently, as you can see from the chart, we are in this massive super cycle. This does not look like something that is just going to continue onwards. This looks like something that's going to implode. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, you might like that one there. You might also want to check out that one that we did where we went through the CIBC commercial. I really thank you and appreciate you watching this, and I will see you in the next one.